now for the living room reveal and video. So just like we took you through the bedroom, we're going to take you through the living room, and April's going to kind of talk to you guys about what we did with the living room. The living room was kind of, I would say, like a challenge because compared to the other rooms in my house, I feel like it's kind of narrow.
It's narrow, yeah.
And we didn't have the sectional. We had that restoration couch. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted to get like the cloud couch from Restoration.
Yes.
Here's where designers actually saved me a lot of money, believe it or not. They make you spend money, but they save you money too. Because the couch that we ended up getting was literally a quarter of the price.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's like Krypton fabric, which is like baby, kid, spill everything proof.
Yes.
And that's really awesome. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the layering and the different things that we did in this room. And one of my favorite things, the art, the more affordable art, how we kind of went that route. We talked about actually making this the focal wall. Yes. Instead of this. We really played around with a lot of concepts.
Yeah, we did.
Because spatially, this was a tough one.
Yeah, especially this is super, super narrow, and you really, really wanted a sectional. Like, that was like...
Kyle really wanted a dang sectional.
Kyle really wanted a sectional. You know, because also 2 sofas would work in this room with like 2 chairs and open it up from that angle. But when you want a sectional, you want a sectional. And so, but it did turn out really well. One of the biggest things is that when you have a sectional, you have this really long thing against the wall. And, well, actually, either way, sofa or sectional, there's a huge wall. And we had a couple, we were going to do, we were thinking about a gallery wall. But that can also get expensive because it's multiple pieces of art, multiple frames. And then you've got to know how to hang it or have someone hang it for you. This art is minted, and so on their website, you can actually go in there and filter by size.
I know, which is such a good tip.
Yeah, and so...
So you need like the biggest size.
So the biggest size. So like 54 by 60. 30 by 40 is probably the smallest that I go on a wall like this, if I did 2, but we did 54 by 60s. We used the minted framing service, which is great, and it takes when you have 2 54 by 60 pieces, and you frame them, it's not like $20, but this in an original would be...
It's so expensive. And this was actually pretty affordable.
Yeah, it is affordable.
And we can link the exact pieces too.
Yeah, exactly. And we did try to do that stuff for you because of what you do for a living. And so this sectional, it's not a sectional that you can just go buy. This is one of the vendors that we use. However, this is what I would look for if I was looking for a similar sectional, which you could go to a store like Sprints and ask them for like a Lee sectional, which would not be the most affordable thing, but it would be a good sectional. But here's what I like about the sectional. So this is slip covered. So I prefer a tight slip covered almost anything.
Okay.
To where it's upholstered, where it's tucked like this and actually upholstered, because I like things to feel relaxed, not country. Yeah. Relaxed. And so for this sectional, there's no welting. It's like a knife edge, which makes it feel more casual.
Okay.
Instead of there being like this huge welt and it being super traditional, it's filled with like downs. The cushions are pretty, casual.
She told me about the sectional. I was like, no way this is the price of the sectional, because it was a really good price. And she was like, this is not going to look good without pillows and throws on it. So just be prepared when it comes in. It's not going to look good. Yeah, and I was just like, what?
Really big sectional. It's just a big thing.
Yeah. Just a big thing.
Yeah, it's a big thing. You need pillows. So here's a couple of pillow tips really quickly. We'll show you how I like to do the knife edge thing. But the brands that I used here were Susan Connor, Restoration, West Elm, used Target, and really covered up some of the area. And so I like to use pillows anywhere between, this is 22 and this is 24. And what I do is I get a pillow insert. I usually use down pillow inserts, and I get them 2 inches bigger. So if this is a 22 inch, then it would have a 24 inch insert.
And it fits, but it just looks fuller?
Yeah, you have to fold it and have to stuff it in there and zip it up, but it looks fuller.
Okay, that's such a good tip.
So you can tell the difference. Like this one, I did not use one that was bigger because they did not have the insert that I needed. Because this is one of the biggest pillows that you can get is it for a couch. It's 24 inch. And so I used a 24 inch insert, and you see it's looser, and this is tight. This is really tight.
So speaking of pillows, I want you to show me, because it's crazy how when April does something, it looks so much better and so much different. So she was teaching me how to karate chop these pillows. So
the photographer told us that we look really aggressive.
Because we are aggressive. So you flattened it out, and you then took the little edges.
Yeah, and so maybe that's why we look aggressive, is because you really gotta, she's pregnant, you can't put as much muscle into it. So you just take it like that, and then set it down. And it already kind of has it, and then you just do it a little bit. Boom.
And it makes it so much different when you style it correctly, because I was just sitting these big square pillows everywhere, and it just didn't look great.
Throws, like, sometimes, like, if it's on an arm like this, I'll fold it over. But honestly, if I'm going to take one of these little throws, I'm going to do it this way.
And make it kind of
like
relaxed.
Relaxed. Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, I don't take every single throw and fold it into a rectangle and put it on the, so you can just come throw them around the couch. We have one here. We have one in the corner.
And that one's Target too. Like those, you can find those anywhere, but we wanted to get the cheaper options.
Yeah, and then we did one on the arm of the sectional. So we really did cover a lot of the space on the sectional, so you don't get a lot of just taupe fabric.
Right. And this sectional like takes up a really a large portion of this living room. So
you don't get you don't have the ability to bring in a lot of textures with chairs and stuff like that. One thing we did do with this ottoman is we got an ottoman with some pattern. If you have kids, you realize you can't set a lot of stuff on things because they will just So I love a plain ottoman. Like, naturally I love a plain ottoman, but this pattern, it's still like pretty like casual and neutral, but you don't have to sit anything on it.
Yeah.
And so
that's a good tip.
Ford can just walk up, bring his toys over to it, and you don't he's not like throwing your stuff into the floor.
Right. Yeah. And this one's from 1 Kings Lane. We had that restoration one, if you guys remember, in the old house, which is beautiful, but it's just, not kid friendly.
No.
So, and April's like whole decor thing is relaxed living. She likes a relaxed vibe. She likes like you to feel like you live in this space, which I feel like is so rare with a high-end like designer to the stars like April, but I truly feel like that in all your spaces. They're so livable.
It's just the way that I live.
Yeah.
I mean,
because she got 2 babies too.
I got 2 babies.
Yeah. So I just said to April, I'm not a relaxed parent sitting on the couch and watching my child eat rocks from my fireplace. So, this is life, real life. Kid-proofing Velcro plexiglass to your fireplace. What a brilliant idea. Now, don't light the fireplace. Like, I have to tell you that. But somebody's going to be like, I got the plexiglass and it burned. When April does a house, she, like, installs the full-on everything. She, like,
the way we prefer.
Stores it in a storage space and installs it all at once. But that's more costly because you have to rent the space and storage space.
And we did you a favor.
And, yes, she let me for that. Yes, don't call her and ask for that. I was like, I feel like I'm living in a dorm room. I've got to have some pieces. So one piece would come in, next piece would come in, next piece would come in, and we just lived in it like it was. But then one day she came in and she layered all of the baskets and throws and frames and stuff like that, and like really kind of
feels like home.
Yeah, made it feel like home.
One Target run can really can cost you a lot of money.
Yeah.
It can also make things
for sure
feel like home.
Which this is Target. I took the picture out of it because I'm changing it. That's a Crystal already had. Crystal already had West Elm. Crystal already had Target. Same. This was West Elm. These are West Elm. This is Hudson Valley. It's called the Zen lamp. I loved like the concrete really works.
So concrete is one of my favorite, outside of wood, it's one of my favorite materials. Anything that looks like it, resin, concrete, limestone, just those natural materials. If you layer a bunch of them into a space, it really does make it feel like very peaceful is the best word that I can describe. Baskets, I pretty much stick everywhere.
I love those baskets.
Those baskets are great. I
Ford's toys, dogs' toys.
Yeah. And just throw some blankets on top of the toys.
And hide them. So you don't see red, green, yellow, blue.
Yeah, just throw a blanket over top of the blanket too. Yeah. So these types of materials, whether it's cane, rattan, I think non-Southern people say like rattan or something, but I'm very middle class.
Memphis.
And Memphis. But anyways, the natural materials made a huge play at market. Like when I went to market, I was like, I could feel like after this trip I could design 400 beach homes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's a lot like fashion in the sense when you go to New York Fashion Week and you're like, oh, neon is really on trend right now. Like when we went to market, we were like, everything natural is really on trend right now, which really works for us because that's how we design anyway.
This is that Susan Connor pillow also.
And you didn't think that a chair was going to be able to fit here.
I know, and it's like perfect. It makes it anchored the room. Just like we did in the bedroom, April brought in a bunch of different swatches of carpets, and we actually had like a carpet store cut this rug to where all the furniture would fit on it.
Yes.
I don't remember what size it is, but
it's
it looks really great.
It's probably like a 19.75 by
something real fancy.
6.25.
And then also over here, we forgot to mention this. This is another vendor piece, so she ordered it, but I like how you mix marble and iron and concrete and baskets. Like the way that you mix textures is so like beautiful, and it makes it comfortable.
Yeah. It seems like you can just, so for me, like I've done it enough. Experience gets you really far. I've mixed materials enough for a long enough period of time, because I've been doing this about 11 years, where I can just kind of know, if you don't know and you're trying, just buy things that are returnable.
Yeah,
because
try it out.
It's not like anything works. It's not like you can just mix materials and it's that easy. Like you can do it and it look completely wrong. So what I would recommend to people is to buy a bunch of things, even if you're like, okay, I know I cannot afford all this, I'm just going to buy it. Set everything around, like when you're trying to layer on top of a space. And then whatever just doesn't feel right, because it's usually just like a feeling. Like you walk in this space, if you were here with us, and you'd be like, oh, this feels so comfortable. If it doesn't feel that way, just take it out.
Yeah.
Just take it back.
I think that's a great word of advice.
And that's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, I think that's a great word of advice, because you don't want to waste your money. And speaking of that, one thing that April told me in the very beginning, if you don't have like a crazy unlimited budget like I did not, she's like, don't spread your money throughout your whole house. People like place things here and there, and they'll do just this much in this room and this much. She was like, what are the rooms we want to do full out? And that's what we did. And I'm so thankful we did that. Yeah. And that was such a good word of advice that I would not have even thought. I would have thought, oh, we need something in every room. But
some of the rooms in this house are not finished.
Yes, right, exactly. So, you just do what you can do and don't overextend yourself, but like make your hero rooms your hero rooms.
Even if it's just one room, just pick the most visible room in your home and just dump all your money there and go to IKEA for everything else.
Yeah. We're doing some Lauren Williams art, and she does these beautiful like rope art pieces, so that will be a custom piece of art here, but it's going to be really beautiful. We were thinking about doing a basket wall here, and then thinking about doing like a linen something where people could put quotes on.
And we can show you, so like Polly, one of my designers, drew this up, and so when we are thinking through art, like we draw it onto the wall. It's not like we just say, hey, we're gonna just get a piece of art. So we like draw it to scale and think through, okay, I was even talking to her just this morning saying, bring that in a little bit. I want it more narrow and tall.
Yeah.
And so you'll be able to see those sketches.
Very custom. Yeah.
Very custom.
Lastly, in this room, we have these curtains. So I love these. Classic white curtains are like everywhere in my house. They're from Loom Decor, which is the more affordable of the custom world. And then she's got this black French return rod, and I was one to be like, oh, curtains, do we really need curtains? Because window treatments are so expensive. They made this space. I feel like
they did.
They really made this space.
And especially if you're like just white curtains, and it's
I know
it's the texture, it's the softness, it's the warmth that it brings in the space.
She usually does a couple inches down from the ceiling to make the windows look larger.
And skim that floor, girl.
And skim the floor, don't puddle it. She put these little baskets behind the couch, which are fantastic for storage. I think those were from Pottery Barn?
Yeah, Pottery Barn.
And we'll link, all the things that are linkable, we're going to link below the video. But just wanted to walk you through the living room and show you. I love how we did a lot of things like more affordable in this room, because it's like kid friendly and it's relaxed and it's comfortable. And it's achievable for anybody.
For sure. And we didn't even change the light. I didn't even make her change the light.
I know, we didn't change it